The girl instantly noticed the boy over there was trying to steal from their supermarket, so she shouted without hesitation, telling the nearby security to catch him on the spot, and asked the assistant to call the police. Just then the old man walked over, but instead of praising her quick reaction, he scolded her for jumping to conclusions. Seeing the cheap pack of noodles in the boy's hand, he quickly noticed something was wrong with his expression. He gently asked why he was stealing. The boy looked down and said he was from an orphanage and hadn't eaten in days. He could endure the hunger, but his younger siblings were too weak to go on. Hearing this, the girl let out a cold laugh, but the old man looked at the frail boy and didn't call the police. Instead, he gave the noodles back to him and asked to be taken to the orphanage, saying if the boy was lying, he'd report him immediately. The boy then brought him to the rundown orphanage. What he saw left the old man speechless. After learning the children's situation, he promised to cover all their living and school expenses, and even pledged to donate 2/3 of his company's profits to the orphanage. The kids were overjoyed and silently vowed to repay him once they became successful. 20 years passed in a flash. The boy who once stole noodles was now CEO of a trillion-dollar company. He returned to New York to find and thank the man who had helped him, but he didn't know the old man's company was on the brink of collapse. All the funds had been taken, and a crowd of unpaid workers was gathered at the gates. Just then, the adopted girl arrived. The old man learned she had found her birth parents, and had always resented his kindness toward the employees, so she teamed up with her real parents, and took every cent he had, just to see if the workers he treated so well would still support him now that the company was bankrupt. He was furious, but before he could respond, his assistant ran in to say a large group was demanding payment at the front door. The assistant suggested running away, but the old man said this was all his responsibility, and he would face the consequences. He went out to meet the angry crowd, and sincerely asked them to give him 3 more days. He promised to pay them by then. The workers agreed. He then asked his assistant to sell all his remaining assets, only to find everything had already been transferred by the girl. Lost and helpless, he suddenly heard the news. A CEO was holding a billion-dollar bidding event in New York. He realized this might be his last shot at a comeback, but didn't know the CEO was the very boy he had helped long ago. The CEO had returned to repay the man who changed his life. On the day of the event, the old man sneaked in with his assistant, hoping to meet the CEO and ask for help, but the girl spotted him. She immediately blocked his path, saying he didn't belong here, and demanded an invitation. Then she called security, accusing him of trespassing. The guards were about to throw him out when the company's manager appeared. The old man begged the manager to tell the CEO he needed to speak with him, but everyone just laughed at him. The girl's birth father even slapped him, just to please the manager. The manager lost patience and told the guards to throw him out, but just then, the CEO arrived.